Happy New Year and welcome back to the channel, everybody. We are winding down 2024, which means it's time for my end of the year video recap. This year, I decided to do a little bit different than I did last year, which, in looking back on last year's video, I thought it ended up being a little more disjointed than I had actually anticipated it might be when I put it together. Initially, I thought it was going to be something kind of creative, going back and forth between my goals and my accomplishments for the year. It just kind of got confusing, I think, for the viewer. A lot of people just wanted to see the cards. So for this year, I decided to actually do my top 50 pickups for the year. So I have a couple qualifiers. It doesn't have to all be cards because I have one item on this list that's not a card. And I am including cards that actually I submitted for grading this year and received them back this year, even though they may have been a card that I acquired many years ago or even just a year ago. I kind of considered it coming back as a graded card as kind of a new item. So that's why you kind of see like the odds again back here in the background. The cards you see before you are cards that actually did not make the list, which actually was kind of surprising to me. I thought I would have cards from this list. As we go through the list, you'll see really two players featured pretty prominently throughout the countdown. Two sets kind of featured prominently. So let's kind of jump into this. And so let me take down the four we got here, which is the beautiful Stan Hack, this lovely Mason Snyder card, obviously my Ozzie Guillen, my X-Fractor, and the early win. Let me put these off to the side. And here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. So we have card number 50 on the list. One of the more recent pickups I got, which at the recent card show, is actually a common, but it's a common from the 1935 Diamond Stars. You'll see a few commons on the list, and they're going to be from some of these older sets. So Bill Rogel and a PSA 5. I kind of rated them based on both my preferences and value taken into consideration. Value kind of being more of the determining factors that kind of go through the list, but as cards were kind of about the same price, I decided to prioritize some over the others. And I probably will just kind of mention price on and off throughout, but I'm probably not going to focus on that primarily. Here we have the 1952 Topps Ed Stewart, another common card, but a very beautiful one I picked up over the summer. Here's the only 53 Bowman on the list, and actually it is Minnie Minoso, staying with the White Sox theme here, back-to-back White Sox. And then we have, from my favorite soccer team, Eden Hazard, a card that I got graded too. It's the purple refractor numbered out of 250. And that is your first four listed here. All right, so then we're going on to a series of autos, actually. Starting with, let me grab this one here and take down Bill. Move these off to the side. Need to find a place where I can stack these and they don't get in the way, and I don't have to run the risk of actually knocking them over. We actually have a cut signature from Ted Lyons, numbered out of 16 from 2011 SP Legendary Cuts Baseball. So he was the all-time winning pitcher in the White Sox history. Pitched mostly on Sundays towards the end of his career. He was called Everyday Sunday Teddy, or Sunday Teddy, I think was his nickname, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of his career. There's a cut signature for him. Right there, I picked up from Mike Baseball Collector when he's selling off a bunch of his autograph cards. Staying with the autograph theme, we have a Scott Rowland that I submitted for grading this year. The autograph was not graded, unfortunately, but the card itself came back in 9.5. This is from 98 Bowman. It's a very early on in his career with the Phillies. 98 Bowman's got a really nice autograph set. A lot of good names that became stars during that era. Now we're going to go back to the 1930s with the 1936 Diamond Star Bucky Harris that I picked up in the spring Chicago Sports Spectacular. Bucky Harris there next to Scott. Now it's sticking a little bit. All right, and it replaced Eden Hazard is actually going to be someone that passed on this year, unfortunately. And that's the reason it made the list. It kind of moved up the list. It was the Pete Rose in the 1986 Topps Manager card. As I mentioned before when I acquired it, that was the very first Pete Rose that I got in my collection. Was that card in particular. It was the 86 Topps. I pulled it from a pack. All right, so we're going to go back to the 50s here. This next one. Picked up at a local card show here. We got the 1953 Topps Billy Martin. Beautiful card there. Oops, hold on here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. My notebook actually fell and hit the tripod, so it was kind of knocking it over. That was one of the things I was trying to figure out. How can I do this without knocking over like the tripod and stuff? All right, well, anyway, we didn't knock it over completely. All right, jumping on. Now we have another card I got graded this year. I talked about these quite a bit, but the higher graded examples of these cards are in high demand for guys that actually collect this set. So an 8.5 is actually a pretty good grade on this 2001 Mariano Rivera. Sorry, it's not really getting into focus. This card is actually really stunning when you see it in person. I don't think the actual video camera actually does it justice, but it's got a really nice shine to it. I think that's still a Pop 2 at SGC as an 8.5. And I'm not sure if they have a 9 at PSA or not. So it's a pretty high graded copy of it. Staying with the Yankees, we're going to go to the 60s. This one I have to take off. It's stuck on there for a moment. We have the 1965 Roger Maris. Beautiful pennant there with that card. One of the more beautiful designs of the 1960s by far. Now we're going to go to the 50s. We're actually going to share with you an all-star card from this era. It's going to be the Bill Mazeroski in a near mint 8. This was part of a purchase from my good friend Robbie when he sold some of his cards earlier this summer. You'll see a few of those featured on this list here. The Bill Mazeroski being one of the bigger ones in that purchase. All right, now we're on to card number 38 on my countdown. Larry Bird, one I submitted for grading this summer. We had the basketball special. Billy Martin away. Here we go. All right, now on to item number 37. Picked this up over the summer too. It's the Topps Platinum Anniversary Albert Pujols. This is numbered out of 70. This is number 3 out of 70. Talked about that card recently too. Move away Mariano. I'll put Albert on here. I think that's the first time Albert makes an appearance, if I'm not mistaken, on my list. All right, staying with players I collect, card number 36 is also one I submitted for grading this year, and it came back at 10. It's the Diamond Anniversary of Derek Jeter. Very popular player even to this day in the collecting scene. People love Derek Jeter. You know, he may not have been the best player of his era. He definitely has a huge audience to this day. Speaking of a guy who actually was a real popular player during his era, still kind of remains popular in the hobby to this day. It's going to be another 2001 gold, another one I submitted for grading this year. It is going to be the Mark McGwire card. Buying this even raw is pretty expensive as far as like gold cards go from this era. And getting it back in an 8 is good, but that's super great. But I just was kind of curious what it would come back as a grade. So I think that card, I kind of value that actually oddly enough around like 80 bucks in that condition at this point, already graded. You may disagree, but there's not a lot of comps out there to be able to look at to kind of even really ballpark it all that well. All right, so from McGwire, we're actually going to go on to a recent Hall of Fame inductee, and it's an autograph I picked up this summer, actually this spring, when I got the Chicago Sports Spectacular, Dave Parker. This is before he actually was in the Hall of Fame. Got it signed at that show. That's his rookie card. It's actually gone up quite a bit in value. That's why it actually made the list. If he didn't make the Hall of Fame here, it probably wouldn't be on this list. All right, taking down Albert Pujols, future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols, in place of current Hall of Famer Monty Irvin. This was one I picked up, I think in May, when I went to the local card show here, the 1952 Topps Monty Irvin. Beautiful card right there. Now we're going to go back to Albert. I'm going to take down Derek. Bye, Derek. Love that card. We're going to put up another one that's got some shine on here. This is going to be the 2022 Topps Chrome Sapphire Orange Albert Pujols in an SGC 9, numbered out of 25. Derek's not going to be off the list for very long, as we're going back to Derek Jeter at card number 31. I know I'm not good about remembering the numbers, so I'll try and do that kind of going forward. Here it is, the 2015 Derek Jeter's The Captain's Final Game card, the gold card, in an SGC 10. It's a Pop 1, currently an SGC. So I kind of value that because of that at 85. You may disagree. All right, we're gonna go back to have one more autograph that I have here that I picked up in person. Also one I got pretty recently at the Chicago Sports Spectacular along with Andre Dawson. I got the 83 Topps signed by Ryne Sandberg. Some sad news about Ryne Sandberg in the recent months here since that show. His cancer returned. So I hope he gets back to health soon and he's able to get back to the public because a lot of people really enjoy meeting Ryne Sandberg. And he was a very, very nice guy. All right, so he was now card number 30. Card number 29, we have my favorite player actually growing up as a kid, Monty. We have a 2001 Topps Gold of Cal Ripken Jr. This actually is highest graded copy card. There actually is, I think, it's a Pop 2, I believe, over at SGC at the moment. And there it is, card number 1 in the set, his last Topps card, and his only serial numbered gold card in the Topps run. That's card number 29. All right, card number 28. We'll go back to 52 Topps. You've seen this one before. I only got 4 52 Topps. 3 are graded and 3 have appeared on the list. This is the last of those 3. It's Richie Ashburn. Picked that one up at a spring local card show here. That's card number 28. Card number 27 is a part of that larger purchase I made for my friend. It's the Andre Dawson rookie in a near mint 8 from 1977 Topps. There's the Dawson. That was card number 27 and card number 26. So we're halfway through the list. It's another Albert Pujols. This is the 2023 Gold Sapphire for Albert Pujols. This is serial numbered out of 50. We'll move Ryne Sandberg here. They're done. Move these around a little bit. We're starting a new list here. New stack, I should say. Here we got the gold next to a regular gold card. What a mixture of cards, huh? All right, we're picking up another one. We're going to go do another Sapphire card. And this is going to be the 2022 Update Green that I graded, and it came back at 10. This is numbered out of 75. Perfect score there. Put the green up here. Beautiful Albert Pujols there. All right, card number 24. Another Topps Gold from 2001. We have Pedro Martinez, the Pop 1 at SGC. I don't know if there is a 9 over at PSA right now. That's some of the reasoning why I put some of these 01 gold cards a little higher. If it was the highest graded copy across SGC and PSA. I felt like it had a little bit more value there because of it. So I estimate I probably could try and list that for 110 and actually sell it in a 9. Oddly enough, so that's where I kind of put the Pedro Martinez. It's card number 24. Card number 23, one of the more popular sets from the 1940s, the 1949 Leaf card of Luke Appling. That card mentioned as Lucius Appling. There we go, good old Luke Appling. All right, card number 22. It's going to be the 2022 Topps Chrome Sapphire Gold in a PSA 10 of Albert Pujols. Trade a gold for a gold here. Over here. Beautiful cards, in my opinion. All right, now we're going to go back to the 1930s with the 1935 Bill Terry that I picked up at the Chicago Sports Spectacular. Not a surprise, we're seeing a lot of Diamond Stars. This is the stuff that I've been working on. I actually picked up quite a few cards for it this year. Now we're going through some of the Hall of Fame players. We already have a Hall of Fame manager appearance. There's Bill Terry. All right, 1948 Bowman, not a surprise here. We got some big cards coming up because I finished this set this year. Red Shandies and PSA 2, the 1948 Bowman. Card number 20, so we're in the top 20 now. Here we have card number 19. From 1909, we have the Piedmont Cigarettes Lee Tannehill. Picked that up at a local card show not too long ago. It was in the summer. I was with Vintage on Vintage and Jason Everyday Sports Card Collector at that show. Everyday Card Collector, I should say. Sorry, Jason, got your channel name wrong for a moment. Number 18, we have the 2017 Top Sapphire in an SGC 10, Albert Pujols. Graded that one myself. Happy with the results on that one. I gotta turn my page now to get to card number 17. Here's a great one. I was super thrilled when this one came back too. It's another 2001 gold. It is none other than Tony Gwynn. It's his last playing day card. He does have a card in 2002, but he was already retired. Here we go, in SGC 9. All right, card around, going back to the 1950s, and we have Ernie Banks in SGC 5. Picked that one up as part of that purchase from my friend. Beautiful Ernie Banks there. What beautiful color. Pretty centered pretty well too for 58. Really happy to have that one as part of the transaction. Here we have a 10 again on the 2016 Top Sapphire Albert Pujols. And there's only 250 of those. There is a gold out there, numbered to 5, but I can't imagine what that might cost for a future Hall of Famer like Albert Pujols, especially if it comes back as a 10, either PSA or SGC. I haven't seen one for sale since I've been tracking these, but I'm sure they'll come up at some point. Although, maybe Pujols collectors will hold on to that one forever. All right, so let's jump ahead now to card number 14. We have Kyler from the 1936 Diamond Star set. There he is when he was a member of the Chicago Cubs. That came back in a PSA 4. Card number 13. Another common but a very famous name in the 50s, Bobby Thompson. This is his rookie card from the 1948 Bowman set. SGC 4. Pretty cool image on there. It's actually the one they used also for his 49 Bowman. Number 2, we have our first large card here. So I'm not sure exactly how I want to display it. I might just have to put it like this for now. We have 2 oversized cards in this countdown. It probably isn't a surprise who they are. This is, now card number 12 is the 1952 Red Man of none other than Stan the Man Musial. I realize I put the stand backwards. 1 second. The card's going to fall on its face the way I have it set up now. We're not going to do that. I'd rather not have that happen. Here we go. This is an SGC2. The blue background. The first year they did Topps Red Man. I picked that up this fall. It's probably like the last sort of big purchase I've made online was this card. Bought it at auction and I'm thrilled with it. So there we go. We have the 1952. All right, card number 11. Another St. Louis Cardinal. We have Frankie Frisch. This is from the 1935 series. Here we go. The Fordham Flash joins the cards here. All right, so that's going to bring us now to our top 10. So the first card on the top 10 is going to be a 1960 Topps Sandy Koufax. One of a couple 1960 Topps cards I picked up this year. This one being the most expensive is the Sandy Koufax. All right, we're going to go back to 1909 for card number 9. Fielder Jones, hands on hip. A very good 4. It's got a mark on it. The mark's actually on the back, which is where you'd probably want the mark to be. The image is otherwise pretty crystal clear. Picked that one up at a local card show here. There's a theme here. A lot of the great purchases were actually picked up at a local card show. And we got card number 7, a card I submitted for grading, and it came back a 9.5. At the time this came back, SGC had never graded a 10. They have since graded a 10. They still have very few 9.5s, and this is the highest graded copy across PSA and SGC of Chipper Jones. I don't know, obviously, what it would sell for, because it is, at this point, kind of a one-of-one, if you will, because of the grade. So it's that way, it makes it kind of unique at the moment, and it is of a Hall of Fame player. Pretty popular one, too. I kind of valued that potentially at 170, if you can believe it. Feel free to disagree in the comments, but I think I probably could get close to that if I put it up for sale, which I'm not. All right, so number 6 is the 2007 gold of Derek Jeter. This is obviously numbered out of 2007, but I've shown this before. They put these into circulation with the air. So we have Mickey Mantle in the dugout here, and we have George Bush standing up in the crowd. It's also the same thing as in the black card, but this is the numbered version of it. So it holds a little bit more value as a result of it. All the gold versions of this have that air in there. So there's Derek Jeter, last time he'll appear on this list. Here we have 1940, and card number 5 is 1949. Stan Musial, 1949 Bowman. Pick that one up over the summer. It's one of the targeted cards I wanted for him this year was this item. Staying with Stan the Man, we have, actually, you know what, card number, actually, number 4 is not a card. It's actually the autographed baseball I picked up this fall from my coworker. I'm going to put the stand out here for a minute. Take it out of his carrier just for a moment. I need to get a better case for it, which I will in the future. It is a signed ball by Mickey Mantle, Mel Stottlemyre, Steve Hamilton, playing day autograph of Bobby Cox, and an autograph of Whitey Ford here. I did a video on this last month. I figured it probably was signed in 1968. So there you go. You got item number 4 on my list is a Mickey Mantle baseball. So we'll move the Fielder Jones away. We'll put that one in its place. Actually, I forgot item number 8. I don't know how I did that. I apologize. Kind of just glassed over it. Let's go back for a minute and show you item number 8. This is going to be actually between the Fielder Jones card and the Chipper Jones card on my list. It's the 1953 Red Man of Stan Musial. I got this one in the spring in auction in an SGC3. So sorry about that one. Somehow I missed that one. So we have the 52 and the 53 in my collection. All right, so let's go back to number 4 was the baseball. Number 3 on my list, we have the 1948 Stan Musial rookie card in SGC1. That was kind of my first purchase, big purchase of the year. So I was working on completing the 48 Bowman set this year. That was my first big one of the year. It was right there. Card number 2. So I was kind of surprised when I was looking at these. Based on value, I actually estimated this one to be number 2, and I thought this was going to be number 1 on my list. But the more I looked at it, I decided to put it on number 2, and you'll see why in a minute. But it's the 1948 Bowman Yogi Berra rookie in an SGC 3.5. Obviously, it was the second one I purchased this year. Talked about that earlier this year. First one never arrived as it was stolen in transit. To get my money back, but I didn't get that card. It was actually graded a little higher than the one I purchased at that time, but I'm still happy with this copy. And rounding out the top 50 cards, or 50 acquisitions, if you will, of 2024 for me, it is one of my most recent ones. It's the 1935 Diamond Stars Rogers Hornsby in a PSA 7. It's got the OC qualifier because it's a little off center top to bottom. Other than that, it's got beautiful corners, wonderful edges, really great registration front and back. Just a beautiful card of maybe the greatest second baseman in baseball history, but definitely the greatest hitting second baseman in baseball history, and maybe one of the greatest right-handed hitters, period, in baseball history. So we got 4 pretty legendary players kind of featured in my top 4 here, which couldn't make me any happier. We got Mantle, we have Musial, we have Yogi Berra, and we have Roger Hornsby. So I must have done something right this year if these were the 5 or the 4 names we kind of round out the list on. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was a little bit of a longer video. Hope you all have a wonderful new year. And I'll be back soon with my hobby goals for the upcoming year, which are going to be obviously highlighted by the sets I'm working on, the upcoming National, and some other projects that I hope to be able to kind of continue to work on as we move into 2025. Have a great rest of your weekend and the rest of 2024, and I'll see you soon.